Hi, my name is Mr. Hammerschmidt. I'll be your facilitator today. Going to be discussing my thematic unit on weather. Weather affects everybody. You can see up here that I did do my unit on weather. Weather affects everybody in all aspects of their life, whether it's what they're going to be doing in the activities, such as snow skiing in the snow or water skiing in the spring and summertime out on the lakes. And it also affects our lives by what food we can eat. Without proper water and food supply, everything's affected. You know, from our plants and vegetation, for our vegetables and fruits and vegetables that we eat, to our cattle, our meat. Those also require vegetation to eat in order to bulk up before we can take them to the slaughterhouse. Real quick, I'm going to show you my notebook here. It's pretty thick. I don't want to take all your time today, but as you can see, the assignments are pretty detailed here. I'm going to go through the assignments instead of going through the notebook with you page by page. I felt that it would be a little bit easier, a little bit more entertaining to actually show you the assignments themselves. Just this section here, as you can see, is pretty thick. This is what I turned into the instructor for grades. But I've got this section here in the back that I'm continuing to work on the thematic unit because I showed this to my principal right before we got out of school this year. And I'm going to actually be doing a second grade thematic unit on weather. So it'll be quite interesting next year that I get to kind of put this all together before I become certified as a teacher to see how my unit's going to work out and kind of work the kinks out prior to getting into the classroom fall of 2013. Whenever I anticipate getting my teaching certification. So real quick, instead of just looking and reading through pages here, I want to show you my exercises that we have here. The first two exercises that I did were math units. Let's try and type it in to get it into my weather theme here. This is a real simple one, student guided. It's got its instructions down here. Basically what they're going to be doing is doing the subtraction problems here that are in these rain clouds. You can see there's 9 or 10 of them here for them to do. And also on the back here is the answer key along with the text that go along with this unit. This particular exercise is quite easy and was very basic to do and to construct, but I feel that it kind of ties in a little bit of math with a little bit of science here. I did a second unit for math here. I'll grab real quick. This one's going to be an addition problem. This one's more of a game type thing. It's got the instructions here for the students. Basically what they'll be doing is there's two colored dice in this baggie. They'll take the dice out and they'll roll the dice. As you can see here on one side of the page, I've got temperatures here in the pink with numbers written on them. And on the other side of the page here, I've got some different temperature readings in green with green numbers on them. And the goal of the exercise is for the students to roll the two dice, and you've got a green dice and you've got a pink dice. If you roll a 1 on the pink dice, you look at the one temperature spot here and you read the reading, which is 40 degrees. You roll the green dice, say you roll a 3 on the green dice. Okay, you come over here, find the number 3. You look for the temperature reading here, and that's 100 degrees. So you would add 100 degrees to the 40 degrees, and your answer would be 140 degrees. So that kind of, they can do this over and over because it's a game of chance. You know, there's the possibilities are endless on this one. Of course, I do have the text on the back of this one here as well. This one here is my science activity. And this science activity is another folder exercise. It's got a supply list over here for the kids to check off on. And then here's the instructions on what we're going to do. If you look down here, you can see it's got several different supplies for it, one of which being the 2-liter bottle. Then, of course, the whole handy dish soap. I've got 3 small objects to go into the bottle. Of course, we're going to have water in the bottle. Then I've got the science journal with some markers or some crayons would work just fine as well. what they're going to do is create a tornado in a bottle. You're going to fill the bottle up with water, put a couple of drops of the dish soap in there, and put your small objects, and you start swirling around. Swirl it this way, and then you slowly get it up to where it's inverted. Of course, you need to tell them, make sure that cap stays on tight, or else they're going to get all wet. You have to go down to the nurse's office to get a change of clothes. But anyway, they're going to get to see the tornado actually inside the bottle. It's a neat exercise for the kids. It's real hands-on. I've got a bunch of other exercises that I'm actually working and trying to link into this thematic unit up here. You come back up this way with me. This is my very generic, it's kind of a small weather unit bulletin board that I've created here in my virtual classroom in the bedroom. Here, these things are all removable. We're going to be studying the different the cycles of the water. Of course, you've got your rain clouds up here, and then you've got condensation that occurs. And you've got the precipitation, which is the rain or the sleet or the snow if it's the wintertime, hail sometimes, that comes down to the ground. And then you've got the sun over here that heats up the water that's been put down on the ground, and it puts it back, evaporates it back up into the environment to where it can condensate and form clouds again. These are the directions over here for the water cycle portion. These things, like I said, are removable, and this is my little label holder up here. We look to the middle here. Was kind of looking for something to put on the board that had to do weather related, but was not science or math related. So this kind of falls more under the English language arts portion of the lesson. It's different poems. In the actual classroom, I would more than likely put these up, handwrite them, and put them up on a big easel so that everybody can read them. These are different poems about clouds. Scattered and wispy clouds in the sky, cirrus clouds are drifting by. Long and flat clouds in the sky, stratus clouds are moving by. Large and puffy clouds in the sky, cumulus clouds are floating by. High and dark clouds in the sky, cumulonimbus clouds are thundering by. So this has got a bunch of different ones. I've probably got 4 or 5 additional poems that are kind of science related, but you also get to build in that language arts portion as well. This right here is going to be an interactive part of the lesson. Basically what I would do here is I'd have a student volunteer come up to the board. Of course, I'd have my smart board with weather.com information available. We've got different types of weather that could be this is my May weather graph, and for every sunny day we're going to be making a bar graph up here. You would be putting this up, cloudy days, so forth and so on. Down here is where we're going to record our current weather conditions. We've got the date, the time, the temp, outside temp, the inside temp, the humidity, the wind speed and direction, any precipitation, and what it is currently outside using our bar graph up here, whether it's sunny, cloudy, rainy, snowy, foggy, so forth and so on. And of course, I've got the directions on how to do this over here. It's an interactive board. It's not really made for groups of kids coming up at a time to do it. It's really made to be interactive for a classroom, whole class type instruction, with a student volunteer to come up and participate in the actual activities. Weather is something very vital to everybody, and I'm very, very excited about presenting this unit. And, you know, this is a fabulous time for everybody. Thank you.